welcome to Confused Reviews, where a cartoon drawing reviews movies. And what do you do when your lead villain is so fucking dead, it's almost impossible to revive them? You gotta make up a bullshit excuse and keep the sequels coming, otherwise known as 1990's Child's Play 2. As much as I loved the first movie, a sequel seems nearly impossible. I mean, Chucky was missing an arm, leg, heart, and fucking head. But it made money, so it's almost routine at this point to make a sequel. Like, seriously name one horror series from the 70s or 80s that didn't get a sequel, because there aren't that many. This movie was released exactly a year after the first, which is good because the fans were still craving more and received it in time so it didn't come out too late and all the fans were over it. It once again tells the story of the killer good guy doll Chucky, who returns after 2 years, story-wise, who once again tries to transfer his soul into Andy, a little kid who's wrapped up in one hell of a shitstorm.
Luke, are you talking about My Buddy?
Well, kinda. I was talking about Chucky.
Well, Chucky was based off My Buddy, you know?
Yeah, I know, and I also know you really like My Buddy.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking awesome. You know, the thing is... What's that?
Yeah, Pat, I've gotta go. There's someone here.
Oh, okay.
God damn it with this fucking box. I thought I got rid of it in the last episode. Well, I'm not dealing with this today. That should take care of it. So let's jump into the sequel and see if Chucky was worthy of a revival or should have stayed a burnt mess. This is Child's Play 2. So the film begins with Chucky's burnt corpse being rebuilt. Alright, 2 questions. Who got that from the crime scene, and why are you repairing a doll that had blood on it and was at a crime scene? After he's completed, we find out from Madsen, played by Greg German, that Prince Humperdinck and his partner denied the killer doll story. Honestly, it sounds like the way to go. But Andy's mom wasn't so lucky. She backed up her son's story and was thrown in the loony bin, so she won't be returning for this sequel. Which kinda sucks, because the mother-son chemistry of the first was really well done. Sullivan, played by Peter Haskell, is shown the rebuilt good guy doll, and he says there's nothing there. Well, no shit, you rebuilt him. That'd be like if I had a Barbie doll go on a killing spree, and before the cop showed up, I replaced it with the exact same one and threw the original in acid. Obviously, everything would check out, and there would be no evidence. The eyes are placed in the doll, and the convenient sequel lighting shocks some maintenance guy and sparks everything into motion. We return to Andy, played once again by Alex Vincent, who is questioned by my 8th grade history teacher.
You know, dreams can't hurt you.
Well, if you're in a different series. Back in the toy factory, Sullivan gives the greatest response of all time.
Stick it up your ass.
Yeah. Wait, what? We see Joanne and Phil Simpson, played by Jerry Agutter and Gerrit Graham respectively, who agree to adopt Andy. When driving home, they almost run into a semi-truck of good guy dolls. Pretty fucking convenient. Like, imagine if it was a Coke truck. That'd be a different movie. Andy gets home and almost touches some porcelain piece of junk and is reprimanded by the parents, which means Chucky will destroy it shortly. We're then introduced to Kyle.
Fuck you, Kyle, you're a piece of shit!
No, not that one. Kyle, played by Christine Elise, who looks like the Gimp's wardrobe supervisor. He's shown to his room and they have a good guy doll? Why in Satan's asshole would you have the doll that traumatized your new son? CPS is going to be on your ass very soon. We cut back to Madsen, who has the real Chucky and is held at gunpoint by our red-haired friend. Turns out it was a water gun, and Chucky decides to suffocate the guy with a plastic bag instead. Good thing, too, otherwise he'd have to call the wolf to clean up this mess.
Oh, what the fuck's happening? Oh, man, man! Oh, man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Chucky's finally arrived at Andy's resting place and is scared by Tommy the Good Guy doll, which doesn't make sense because he was clearly there the whole time, judging by this previous shot. So either Chucky's that girl in the back of every horror movie that jumps at any little noise, or he's just completely retarded. Anyways, there's only room for one good guy doll in this movie, so Chucky beats the fuck out of Tommy with that junk Andy's foster parents hassled him about earlier. Fun fact, the reason the doll's name was Tommy was an homage to the first film's director, Tom Holland. He then buries the little fucker in the backyard. Good. The next morning, the dad from the Twisted Sister music videos, Phil, reprimands Andy for being an endless disappointment. Breaking the statue. He then puffs some of Kyle's cigarette. Man, Kyle's a fantastic role model. Andy then overhears his parents talking shit about him. He brushes it off and comes across Chucky, Tommy, and makes sure there's batteries in him, because it Didn't go too well last time there wasn't batteries.
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut!
Andy then pushes Kyle on the swing and begins to kick up some of the dirt, and Chucky looks worried. Maybe you shouldn't have buried it in the one spot where people move their feet rapidly, dipshit.
Did you call moi a dipshit?
It turns to night and Andy wakes up tied to a bed with a sock in his mouth. But instead of it being creepily sexy like in Wedding Crashers, it's fucking terrifying. Like, imagine you're dreaming about, oh, I don't know, the Dukes of Hazzard not being a complete waste of human life when you wake up tied up with a creepy ginger in your face.
If I don't get out of this body soon, I'm screwed.
Quick newsflash, you never get out of it. At least for 4 sequels and counting. Andy hops on the bus and this little fucker pushes him.
You wanna see Jesus?
Well, I can officially check school shooter off of the list of touchy subjects I've joked about on this show. Andy decides to do whatever the fuck this is, while Chucky vandalizes Andy's homework. Whoa, this is getting too freaky for me. Miss Kettlewell, played by Beth Grant, makes Andy stay after class and asks who vandalized the homework, and Andy promptly looks at,
Don't even think about it.
yeah, that see didn't do shit. Andy then hops out the window because he remembers Sesame Street is on at 3, but he forgets the class is on the 14th floor. Miss Kettlewell returns and Chucky realizes she's a little short on air, and he gives her a thorough thrashing. This is for always giving homework, this is for being Dabney's bitchy mom on Malcolm in the Middle, and this is just because you remind me of my bitchy algebra teacher. Another fun fact, scenes like this and the finale were in Don Mancini's script for the original, but were not used. Andy is reprimanded again, and Kyle gives a sappy speech about God knows what, but I feel like it's been a while since Chucky killed someone, so the dad is grabbed by the leg with a fire poker and then falls and breaks his neck. You know, a normal Tuesday in the Simpson house. Andy is taken away, which is another thing to add to the boy's constant trauma. Kyle swings on the swing again, like most adult females do, and finds Tommy's body, but I could have sworn Chucky buried him a lot deeper than that, but whatever. Kyle finds Chucky's corpse is on his coffee break and equips herself with a knife. She also finds out that Joanne's body is into some kinky stuff. Gross. Her and Chucky tussle for a bit, and he then kidnaps her and makes her take him to Andy. Kyle, you know you could just slam on the brakes. He's not wearing a seatbelt and would most likely fly out the windshield. Then run that little fucker over and boom, movie over. Kyle's pulled over for speeding and the cop plays with the doll until he has a face period and is let off with a warning. She then finally takes my advice and launches the fucker out the windshield. Good. She then counters that fantastic decision by doing the dumbest possible one by crashing the car, and she doesn't even hit him. So she basically fucked herself by ruining her escape vehicle. Good job. She's held hostage again and heads to Andy's whereabouts, and since the body count has been lackluster, he stabs this lady and saves the generic kill because she slams her head into the copier and makes, well, copies. Duh. Andy is taken again, and the biggest plot twist of the movie. The car starts, and Kyle chases after them. But the skinny version of Stanley calls her off, and they rush into the good guy doll factory. After that moment, Chucky goes through the chant, and it didn't work. Well, yeah, you spent about a week in the first movie, then 2 years being dead, rebuilt, and another week or so in this one. I don't know why you didn't do it the minute you got there. I honestly don't know what you expected. He's then crushed by some boxes and goes apeshit. The geniuses who have access to the forklift decided to make this place a maze so they can't get out. That guy deserves a raise. Kyle then has the brilliant idea to climb through the assembly line, and even Andy's like, is this bitch crazy? He then decides YOLO and goes for it anyway. Chucky isn't too far behind and has his hand crushed by the latch. He then decides to do a fedora cosplay and shove the knife into his hand. The assembly line is backed up, so the maintenance guy has to unclog it. Unfortunately, he's a fucking idiot and gets slashed by Chucky and given a brand new pair of googly eyes. Chucky finds them and is given a few extra limbs and one hell of a skin burn, or plastic burn. Whatever. Kyle is hit by the swinging stunt dummy. I mean, you can even see it's fake right here, and Chucky is still alive. Obviously. He's then drenched in scalding hot plastic and is turned into that thing my dog vomited up last week. But Chucky is one durable fucker and is still alive. They throw an air tube in his mouth and he turns into a Garbage Pail Kid. Oh, and he explodes too. He then suddenly comes back as a lone hand, and no, I'm just kidding. He's finally dead. And our tale comes to a close with Andy and Kyle leaving the good guy factory, with a lot of explaining to do, and probably a lot of money and property damage. And that was Child's Play 2. and it's kick-ass. Okay, Alex Vincent is phenomenal in this movie. He's definitely gotten better since the first. Christine Elise is also very good, and this is a nice substitute to the sadly missed Catherine Hicks. The doll effects are 1,000 times better in this one. You honestly think Chucky is really there, and is really a doll. The kills are also decent, and the finale is one of my favorite from any horror movie. Chucky is one durable fucker. He survives losing a hand, leg, and practically melting completely. Brad Dourif is once again fantastic as Chucky, but I'd be repeating most of my points from the Child's Play review, so go check out that review for my full thoughts. Anyways, I think Chucky's dumbass thinking that he's going to get out of that doll is redundant at this point and got pretty old pretty fast. But besides that and a few dumb decisions from the characters or Chucky, this movie is pretty damn fun. Just the right amount of scares and laughs to make a great horror movie. I'd say this is just as, if not a little better than the original. So I obviously recommend that you check this one out. I'm going to give Child's Play 2 an A-, because it continues Chucky's story without all the boring, dull parts that bog down the original. Give it a watch. I'm Confused Reviews. Thanks for watching.
Bye.